On this week's episode of A Drier Dose of Disney, Jared shares with us information about the Flower and Garden Festival at EPCOT.
Welcome to this week's episode of A Drier Dose of Disney. I'm your host, Jared Drier, and today we are on episode number 2 of 4, where we are talking through the EPCOT festivals. Last week we discussed the Fine Art Festival, and today we're going to be talking about the Flower and Garden Festival. And just in case you weren't listening to all of our episodes about the festivals, I'm going to recap at the beginning of each one what the festivals are and how they work. But before I do that, I do want to ask, wherever you're listening to us, click that pause button and then go click subscribe. That way you're going to get this content delivered into your inbox each and every single week, and you're going to stay up to date on the best Disney and Universal tips and tricks that are out there. And then if you find any tips or tricks that save you time or money or make your life easier, we would appreciate your support over at Patreon. The link is in the description below, and even $5 a month helps keep this podcast going. So we definitely appreciate our subscribers there at Patreon, and we thank you for your support. So when you're going to EPCOT, pretty much any time of year, you're going to find one of the 4 festivals going on. And again, they're the Fine Art Festival, the Flower and Garden Festival, the Food and Wine Festival, and the Holiday Festival. Between each festival, there's about a 7 to 10 day break where they're swapping it all out. And I will tell you, if you happen to go during one of those breaks, EPCOT is still an awesome park. It's my favorite park, but you're going to miss out on a lot of the different food stands that are out in the park, as well as a lot of the different activities. So I definitely want to encourage you, when you're planning your vacation to Orlando, you want to find when the EPCOT festivals are going on, and you want to make sure you're going during one of the festivals. Now, any of the 4 festivals are awesome. I do have 2 that I like a little bit more than the others, but at the end of the day, they're all fantastic. So you're not going to miss out on anything as long as you go to one of the festivals. Now, they are all totally unique, and they are all playing on the senses, which makes sense considering EPCOT is geared towards science and technology. So with the 4 different senses, I look at the art festival as really visual. I look at the Flower and Garden Festival as more of that smell sense. Food and wine, of course, being taste, and then the holiday being sound. So there's elements at all the festivals for every single sense that your body has, but I really like how EPCOT has designed this. So with the Flower and Garden Festival, obviously you're going to get the flowers, the gardens, the smells, the different aromas from different species of flowers from around the world, which is really cool. We do get a lot of questions about the festivals and when is the best time to go. And because they're all year round, we will say that the crowd levels are very level throughout the year at all the different festivals. Now, of course, when a new festival starts or when one is about to end, the first week or the last week are usually going to be your busiest times, because you're going to have your bloggers there, or you're going to have your locals trying to get it in before it leaves for the year. So do know that those are going to be your busiest weekends, but for the most part, the crowd levels are going to be very consistent. And then at each festival, you're going to have access to a passport, and that passport's going to tell you all the cool foods you can get and all the different booths that are throughout the World Showcase and where to visit. And with the passport, they always feature some kind of food. Like this last year at Food and Wine, it was cheese. And if you had all the cheese dishes, you got stamps and stickers at each one, and then you could complete out your passport. So that's a really cool feature that they always have going on as well. And then each festival also has a scavenger hunt you can do for about $10. You can find out more details online, but as you go through the park, if you do the scavenger and you find all the things that are on the hunt, then you can trade that in for a small prize that you get at the end of your day. So a lot of cool things going on and a lot of interactive stuff going on. Now, during each festival, all the rides are going to remain the same. So whether you're going to ride Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, or you're going to ride Frozen Ever After, or you're going to go with Little Nemo into the Journey of the Seas, those are always going to be the same. So those don't ever change. What changes are the pavilions and the food around the World Showcase, and then sometimes towards the center of the park as well. So you definitely want to go check those out and make sure that you're making your rounds throughout the park. And now let's talk specifically about the Flower and Garden Festival. This is a really cool festival. It goes on for about 4 months, from March through the end of June. It stops right before the 4th of July holiday, which is when they swap everything out and turn it over to the Food and Wine Festival. But the Flower and Garden Festival is when you're going to find these really cool topiaries throughout the entire park. So if you're somebody who likes the photo ops and likes to get those family photos in, the Flower and Garden Festival is the festival for you. You're going to have so many cool opportunities to take pictures in front of these cool topiaries throughout the park, and they highlight so many different Disney characters. It's simply amazing. And it starts by going right up the middle. Again, through all of our festivals, we're going to tell you don't go through the shortcut from Test Track over to Mexico or from Figment over to Canada. You're going to want to go right up the middle. And the reason is you're going to see some amazing designs and some amazing topiaries for the Flower and Garden Festival. And it's really cool to see what the Disney Imagineers have done with this. And each year it's totally different. So it transforms every single year. Now, if you've ever been to Disney during a holiday like Halloween or Christmas, how they completely redecorate the park. That happens at every single festival throughout the year at EPCOT. And it gives you a totally unique experience 4 different times during the year that you can go back to EPCOT and almost see a completely different park with the same rides. The food all changes out, all of the drinks change out, and all of the decorations change out. So it's really cool to go during these different festivals. So like we said, you're going to want to go up the middle. You're going to see tons of different topiaries, and you're going to be able to take pictures with each and every single one. There are also topiaries you can buy. And in fact, my wife had a Mickey one that she wanted to get last year. And we said, oh, we'll be back next week. Don't worry about it. And we didn't know the festival was ending. And of course, it wasn't there. So I will echo our shopping episode, our tip of the day there, where we said, if you see something you like, buy it. Don't ever say I'll get it the next time. Don't ever say I'll get it at a different park. It may be difficult to find your size if it's clothing, or in this case, like the Mickey topiary, we wish we would have bought it. And of course, the next time we went to the park, it was gone. So we're going to go back this year. Hopefully we're going to find it when we go back this time, but it's really exciting to see all the cool things that you can buy at the parks during these different festivals. Now, we did talk in our last episode about the Fine Art Festival, all the cool art pieces. And then, of course, there's the same kind of thing that happens at the Garden Festival, where you can buy the topiaries, you can buy things for your home garden, you can buy all kinds of things to help decorate your house. So there's lots of really cool things that are happening at the Flower and Garden Festival. And then, of course, you want to stop and smell the roses. And I know that's a cliche, and a lot of people say, stop and smell the roses to signify savoring life and really enjoying each and every moment. Well, at the Flower and Garden Festival, you literally want to stop and smell the roses. And the reason is they have such different flowers throughout each land, throughout the park. They all have different scents and different smells to them. So you're definitely going to want to check all those out. Now, in addition to the topiaries, the really cool thing about the Flower and Garden Festival is there are small global gardens, is what they're called, around the park. So you want to look for those. Of course, in Japan, they have a bonsai one. That one's really cool. They also have a Bambi butterfly house, which is amazing. You can go check out all the different butterflies there around the different flowers in the gardens there. And it's just really cool. It's a super awesome atmosphere. And there's more than just those two. So check out the passport, and it'll tell you about all the different global gardens that are out there. One of the really cool parts of the Flower and Garden Festival is that they have what's called Garden Rocks concerts. And these happen over at the American Gardens Theater. And this is back in Colonial America at the back of the World Showcase. They have a theater there that faces Colonial America, and they have concerts each and every single night. And they feature different bands from the 60s and 70s. So this is a great throwback to those classic style bands that are out there. And it's a ton of fun with you and your family, where they play family friendly music. It's a great time to see some live music and to really enjoy the Flower and Garden Festival. And then, of course, my favorite part of going to EPCOT is the food. And they have obviously different food pavilions throughout the World Showcase for the Flower and Garden Festival, and what they do differently. So if you listen to the last episode at the Art Festival, we talked about how they make plates that are really visually appealing. This one for the Flower and Garden Festival, you're going to get a lot of really natural elements. So as you go through the park, you're going to see a lot of foods that have fruits and vegetables in it, or maybe garnished with honey. And I absolutely love honey. I'm not Winnie the Pooh, but I do love honey. And you're going to get a chance to try all these different flavors from around the world that have that sweetness to it that comes from nature, which is really awesome and a really unique experience to see how each land throughout the world signifies and does their fruits or their vegetables or what would come from the earth. So there's lots of really cool foods out there. Don't at all think that this is a vegetarian experience, because it's not. They have tons of different meats as well, because the meat may be garnished with a jam or a honey or something that goes with it. So the Flower and Garden Festival is totally awesome. You're going to get really unique foods at it that are different than the savory or the sweet that you might find at other times of the year. And it's just a fun time with your family. Of course, like I said, we've been there during this time of the year. You can spend all day walking through these gardens, looking at all the different topiaries, looking at all the different designs, and trying all the different foods. And we encourage you to do that. And in fact, if you listen to our EPCOT episode, we told you guys the tip of the day there is you may not need reservations for a restaurant, because there are so many different places to eat throughout the park and so many different great places to go to get food that you're definitely going to leave full, and you're definitely going to try all those different foods throughout the park. Now, we recommend, and we talked about this on the last episode, and we will continue to say this on the next couple ones. As you walk through the park, you want to stop at each and every single pavilion. You want to check out all the different food offerings that are there. And the reason is you may come across foods that you have never tried before, or maybe some of your favorite foods that you didn't know EPCOT was going to offer unless you look through the whole passport booklet. And in addition to that, when you go through the pavilions and you look at all the different stands, they have usually pictures up at each stand of what the food looks like. And you may see something that sounds strange, but looks really appetizing. For us, what we like to do is obviously we like to share as we walk through the park. So when we buy food at a stand, we may each only take a bite of it, because they are smaller portions, but they are less expensive, which is nice. So you get to try different foods throughout the park and not get too full too quickly. But usually by halfway, we're usually getting pretty full ourselves. But you can always find something unique that maybe you've not tried before. So like on our last trip out there, which we went at the art festival, we had a chance to try a wild boar, which was really good. We had a chance to try some cooked duck, which I'd never had duck before. My daughter tried that as well, and we both enjoyed that. We tried a deconstructed BLT, which was really unique, with pork belly and a poached egg and all kinds of different flavors and sauces. So you definitely want to go through the different pavilions and the different lands and look at what all the foods are that are there being offered at that point in time, because know that they will change. So next year when you come back, if you go at the same time every year, you're going to have a whole different lineup of foods at the different pavilions throughout the park. And that's both beneficial because you get to try something new, but it's also disappointment because we have had some really great foods that we've not been able to get again because they keep rotating through. So our fingers are crossed that the lobster rolls come back to colonial America at the next Food and Wine Festival, because those were the absolute best meal that we've ever had at any of the Disney parks. So we definitely want to find that one again. But we encourage you, try different foods and definitely experiment just a little bit and get out of your comfort zone with the different foods that are offered. Same goes for the drinks. There's a lot of different drinks. We've had drinks throughout the different World Showcase every time we've gone, and there's some that we've absolutely loved and some that we didn't. And that's okay to find one that we didn't, because you do get the ones that you love and then you go back for more. And sometimes that's another tip that we like to give is, if you find something you love, finish the showcase, but go back and get more if you need to, or if you want to, if you're still hungry, because again, the food's going to rotate throughout the year and you're going to miss that the next time that you come. So with that, let's go into our I Can Do This All Day tip of the day for today. And it's with all the photo ops that we talked about at the beginning and the topiaries that are out there. This is the one time that I would say it is definitely worth getting the photo pass. And the reason is, with the photo pass, they usually have Disney photographers around each of the main topiary areas. And they're going to definitely do those family photos where they cordon off the area, try to clear people off to the side so that no one's in your background. And you're going to get professional photos at each and every single one. Now, because they have them throughout the park, it's real easy to get 10, 12, 15 of these photo ops throughout your day. Not to mention, if you have the pass, you can get them at Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, or Hollywood Studios as well. But you have enough photos just from EPCOT that you could make a really cool collage. You could make a calendar with pictures for each month of the year from the topiaries that are there. And it's a really great experience to see what these Disney photographers do when they do their little magic and they put Tinkerbell or something into the photo with you, or maybe butterflies, because it's the Flower and Garden Festival. Now, in relation to the photo pass, I will tell you, you only need it once per group. So you don't need to add it to every single person's ticket. Only add it to the one person who's going to want the photos and be in charge of that side of it. So for us, that's my wife. She loves doing all the collages and doing our Christmas card. So she has the photo pass. We only pay for it once, and then we get all the photos taken that we want throughout all the parks, which is awesome. But definitely at the Flower and Garden Festival, that's the tip of the day, is you're going to want that photo pass just because of how many photo opportunities there are throughout the park. Now, with that, we hope you had a great time today talking about the Flower and Garden Festival. Next time, we're going to talk about one of my favorites, the Food and Wine Festival, next week. And then we'll wrap up the series after that with the Holiday Festival for the end of the year. And so we wish you a magical week as you're planning your next vacation. And we will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.